Hello, Lagos. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Living in the digital age means you're bombarded with information.
The federal government is asking Lagosians to believe.
Speaker of the House, Femi Bajabi.
It's getting harder and harder to find the truth in the disinformation, or to put today's headlines into context.
One of our soldiers shot me, Sandra, on my ribs.
That's why I'm here. I ask the tough questions that get to the root of things.
The previous election had allegations of rigging.
Nobody has been able to prove that 2018 elections were rigged.
I tell you the history behind the news.
I need to take you back. I need to give you a bit of history. Now, Zimbabwe got its independence.
I cut through the spin and show you the facts.
No, Kayode, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
There's a reason why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
570,000 of you.
630,000 people.
674,000 people.
We now have more than 720,000 listeners. Kill me.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day, it's day 3 of the annual 16 days of activism to eliminate gender-based violence. Again, this is a time for all of us to think about the ways that we can make the world a safer place for all women. Now, today's Friday, so we're letting Nigeria rest, and we're going to take a look at what's happening in other parts of the world. So we're starting with the Big 3 Global Edition. Let's talk about the Kenyan president leaving Twitter. He said, you people are insulting him too much, so he has run away. And then let's talk about the AU sending envoys to Ethiopia. And then let's talk about the latest in the race for a COVID-19 vaccine. After that, as usual for Friday, Agogo will bring you Public Square. He was with you on the sunny side today. Did you enjoy that? Did you love him on the sunny side? Or can't you wait for Joyce to come back? She's back on Monday, by the way. But yes, Agogo will be here with Rotimi Sankari bringing you Public Square. And then we're going to wrap up with music and moments with Ifeanyi and Sam. Of course, there's news updates coming your way at the top of every hour, but let's get started with today's Big 3 Global Edition.
The Big 3 Global Edition on Hard Facts.
Should world leaders make themselves available on social media? Do you think world leaders should make themselves available on social media? What's the solution to the crisis in Ethiopia? And what does AstraZeneca's error mean for the availability of a COVID-19 vaccine? This is the Big 3 Global Edition. Let's get into the stories. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has deactivated his Twitter account. And that's our first story. The reason he gave, and he gave that reason in Swahili, but I'll translate it for you, is that, quote, I left Twitter because of many insults. I'd rather have a conversation with my wife, sleep, and work. You get sleepless nights after going through Twitter. You keep calling to ask about the insults. End quote. So the most powerful man in Kenya is leaving a public platform because people are insulting him too much and he's having sleepless nights. And I wonder what you think about it. Do you think that people with the most power in society should be afraid of or sensitive about insults from the people with the least power? Because remember, he's the president, right? The people insulting him may even be unemployed. They may be the poorest of the poor, and some will say that he works for them. So why is he running from his bosses? But other people will say he's right. He is the president. People should respect him. People should not insult him. Then you also have people who, on the other hand, might say that a president should never be afraid of feedback. If he truly wants to improve and serve his people, don't be afraid of feedback. On Monday and on Wednesday on The Big Hard Fact, we talked about lobbying, right? With Chief Andy Oboforibo. And he said something that stuck with me. He said that lobbying is a common practice all over the world because regular people don't have access to their leaders. And if you think about it, social media is one of the few places where regular people have some access to their leaders. An American can tweet at President Trump and he will see it. They praise him on Twitter, they insult him on Twitter, but no matter what, he stays on Twitter. So I'm curious if you think that a president leaving social media and therefore reducing the public's access is warranted. What do you think about Uhuru Kenyatta's decision to leave Twitter? What do you think about his reason for leaving Twitter? He said he's tired of chopping insult and that's why he left. 0700-993-993. You can also talk to us on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM and share your thoughts on Facebook. We're streaming live. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We're also streaming on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello.
What's your name?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
You have Chris on the line.
Chris, welcome.
Yeah. For me, Sandra, I'm a bit surprised hearing this anyway, but at the same time, it's also, I would advise him not to run away. One of the qualities of a good leader, you must be a listener. You must take criticism. You shouldn't be afraid of criticism. They can criticize you, then you can as well take correction from the criticism, from whatever the people are telling you, then to make correction. At least, I must encourage him anyway. It's a better thing if he chooses to do that. At least, not the same thing we have here in Nigeria, where government agencies, instead of them running away from Twitter, they want to regulate social media. At least I didn't hear that he's planning to stop people from having access to social media, as is the case here. So it's a good one.
So you think instead of regulating social media, run away from social media?
Apparently, in the whole thing anyway. Often in as much as if you are performing well, I don't think people will be insulting you. Just like you said during the introduction, apparently the unemployed ones who are insulting him, he must do the needful for them to stop insulting him. That's how I see it. So if he did the right thing, there will be less insult. And moreover, there is no perfect government. So there must be criticism. There must be opposition who will criticize your policy. So, he running away is not the best thing.
Chris, thanks for calling us. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How you doing? What's your name?
Good afternoon. My name is Ibinabo.
Ibinabo, what do you think about Kenya's president deactivating his Twitter account?
Oh, what I think is this. As a leader or as a president, you should be ready to face critics, condemnations, and all of that.
Well, he said it wasn't criticism for him. He said it was insults, and that the insults were giving him sleepless nights.
It doesn't matter. That is why he's a leader. You should be able to take all of these insults, or not. Most times, it doesn't have to be praises alone. When things don't go as expected, people will want to insult you, not insulting you because you don't know what you are doing. They are insulting you because they want a better you. That is the need for those insults. But most of us don't see it that way. When I draw a number 9 on the floor and you are facing the opposite direction, you will see number 6, but I will see number 9. That is the way these things are. We see them from different angles. He is not seeing it as a way of restructuring or becoming a better him, but he's seeing it as a way that people don't appreciate what he is doing. That is why he thinks those insults are giving him sleepless nights. And the best way for him to do is to run away from Twitter. But I'm afraid, even if he runs, they are still going to insult him. That's what he doesn't know.
Well, thank you for calling us. He also said something that I found interesting. He said, that he keeps calling to ask about the insults. So even if he has deactivated his Twitter accounts, chances are he's still calling people to find out what people are saying about him on Twitter. If you just joined the show, hello. Our first story on today's Global Big Three is that Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has deactivated his Twitter account. He said, "I left Twitter because of many insults. I'd rather have a conversation with my wife, sleep, and work. You get sleepless nights after going through Twitter. You keep calling to ask about the insults." And this is the most powerful man in Kenya, and he's leaving a public platform because people are insulting him too much and he's having sleepless nights. Now, some people may say that insulting a president is not proper. You should respect a president. You should not insult a president. And then you have people who will say, like my previous caller, a president should not be afraid of feedback. If the president wants to improve or serve the people, don't be afraid of feedback. And I wonder what you think about his decision to leave Twitter. What do you think about his reason for leaving Twitter? 0700-993-993-993. I'll come to WhatsApp in a bit. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
How are you, Sandra? My name is Sam.
Sam, welcome to the show. What do you think about Kenyatta's excuse for leaving Twitter?
I don't think the excuse is worthwhile.
Okay.
Because how many people did himself criticize before? He must have criticized people before he become the president.
Okay.
And there is one saying in Yoruba that Oja Oyibo,
Okay.
in the 60s and the 70s, Oyibo market used to be the biggest market in Lagos. And then whether one person come or he no come, we will not notice his absence. If the man is not there, Twitter will go on. It's just that people should learn how to ignore those who are abusing you. No, you might just ignore them. You might read and then laugh over them, over what they are saying.
But at the same time, if you're having sleepless nights because of what they're saying, for your mental health, should you not leave?
What there is that somebody who is a leader should be able to control his emotion. His anger, his happiness, his joy, every other thing. You must put them under control. If people are abusing you, look at our former president. He said he was the most abused president. In fact, at a particular time, you will even think whether he can go close to his wife. He was so abused, but he did not say anything. He never replied anybody. That is how a leader should be.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling us, Sam. I appreciate it. Gladys from Aboru says, "I thought most influential people have assistants who manage their accounts. And come to think of it, there must be a reason for the insults because there should be a balance now, praises versus insults. It's well, since we're in a global age, he should better open a new account before we leave him and relocate to Mars." He probably has a burner account where he comes to check what you people are saying about him on Twitter. Well, Kenyans, not you people, because you're not Kenyans. Another message here on WhatsApp. "The president should have shut down social media in his country." Uchenna from Ajao Estate says. Okay. We've got another message here on WhatsApp from Voke. And Voke says, "Uhuru Kenyatta is avoiding criticism. What he said about having sleepless nights is clearly a lie." Well, we don't know one way or the other whether it was a lie or not. We'll take one more call and then move to our second story. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
This is Michael from Idinjuleki.
Michael, what do you think about Uhuru Kenyatta's decision?
That is the president that needs his people. They want to make them laugh. But if it's Nigeria, they'll go after you. You can't try that in Nigeria. Your Twitter account? No. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye, Michael. Our second story is an update on the crisis in Ethiopia. The African Union has sent special envoys to meet with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the leaders of the TPLF. That's the Tigray People's Liberation Front. They are the ones currently fighting a war with the government. So the envoys are trying to see if they can broker a peaceful solution to the crisis. Now, here's the thing. The Tigrays are an ethnic minority in Ethiopia. But from the 90s until a few years ago, they dominated government in the country. And that's because the TPLF, as a military force, were the ones who overthrew Mengistu, the former dictator. So since then, they hold on to power. And other ethnic groups complained about marginalization. Just recently, Abiy Ahmed took over. And according to Abiy Ahmed, he's tried to build a more inclusive government so that other tribes feel included. But the Tigrays are saying that he's actually marginalizing them. He says that he simply wants to keep power like before. And then there have been trials. The government has been prosecuting former government officials for corruption and atrocities. But the TPLF says it's a witch hunt against Tigray leaders. So that's the tension that is going on and has been going on between Prime Minister Ahmed Abiy and the TPLF. By the way, the TPLF controls the government in their region, Tigrania. That's what's been happening. So fast forward to 2020, there's supposed to be an election, but COVID-19 happened. And because of COVID-19, Ahmed cancels the elections. But the TPLF decide that they're going to hold elections in Tigrania against the federal government's instructions. And then the TPLF attacks an army base in Tigrania. They say it was a preemptive strike because the government was planning to attack them. But Ahmed says it was unprovoked. And that's when he ordered the attack. That's when he ordered an attack on them. And there's been massive airstrikes against Tigrania. Over 40,000 civilians have fled the place and they've gone to Sudan. And it's now a real mess. And now Ahmed says that the army is about to attack the Tigranian capital, Mekele. Hold on, let me pronounce that right. Mekele. And so the AU is stepping in and they're trying to prevent more bloodshed. And that's the situation in a nutshell. By the way, Ethiopian constitution allows regions to break away and to secede. If a region wants to secede, they can hold a referendum. So on the one hand, some analysts are saying that the central government should leave the Tigrays alone. And then you have those who are arguing on the other hand that if the TPLF wants Tigrania to secede, they should go through the proper route and call for a referendum. That there was no need for them to attack the army base. And that's why some analysts think that the TPLF doesn't really want to secede. They just want to find a way to take back power in Addis Ababa. But all around, it's a mess. It's a huge mess. It's a huge humanitarian mess at the moment. And I wonder if you've been following it. I wonder what you think about the situation in Ethiopia. What do you think the solution to that crisis is? Do you think the African Union can make a difference? Because like I said, the African Union has sent special envoys to meet with the Prime Minister and the leaders of the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Do you think they can make a difference? 0700-993-993 or 700-993-993. Hello. Thanks for calling us. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry about that. Hello?
Hello?
How are you? What's your name?
I'm Sandra.
Yes, what's your name, sir? Hello? Oh, no. 99.3.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome. What's your name, sir?
My name is Anderson, calling from Maryland.
Welcome, Anderson.
Yes. I'm not sure the African Union delegation will succeed.
Okay. Tell me why.
I think that's Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former president of Liberia, and the former president of Mozambique, and the other one.
Yes. Why don't you think they'll succeed?
The president Ahmed has already said clearly that he's not going to accept negotiation until he gets a military victory. So he said no. So even the humanitarian international organization said he should allow foreign journalists, because for now nobody can even talk about casualty. Nobody knows what is happening. But it is very, very difficult to get to the scene of the fight. And he said he wants to succeed first. And if they take the ground, what they should do is to accept defeat first before we can go to the table of negotiation. And I think he's right.
Okay.
Because somebody cannot just wake up just because they were in power for almost 30 years. Now that somebody else comes in power, they start causing trouble all over the place. If they want to go, they should go. But I don't think the president can agree now, because if they go now, all other regions will also follow. So if they want to go, let them go through the procedure, just like you say, the normal procedure to CC. And then maybe in the next 2-3 years, they organize a referendum. If they want to go, they go. But not starting with war.
With war.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. 99.3.
Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
This is Mr. Frank. I'm calling from Ojo.
Welcome, Mr. Frank. I've got 2 stories so far. Which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the Kenyan president.
Okay. Tell me what you think about his reason for leaving Twitter.
Yes, I think I will be in support of him by leaving the social media.
Okay.
Yes, because, like, for instance, now we have more than 80-something political parties in this Nigeria.
I didn't hear that. Say that again.
We have many political parties in this Nigeria. And it's one that is ruling. So it's not everybody will be in support of him. And there is nothing he do to please everybody. So people insulting him is not good.
Okay.
He has information minister. He has many other people that can be doing that for him. And for the fact that he can call to know if they are still insulting or what is happening, he's still a good man. If it is here in Nigeria. Now another thing, are you getting me now?
I'm getting you.
So people saying that it is not good that he's supposed to be there. Assuming that it is another fellow president or governor or big high chief like him that is insulting him, you wouldn't call it anything.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and continue this conversation. You're listening to Hard Facts. Lagos, don't go away.
Conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Mention the first 20 chemical elements accordingly. Hydrogen, helium,
It's 3:30 Lagos. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Our final story is about the race for a COVID vaccine. AstraZeneca looked like they will jump into the lead this week, but they had to come back and announce that they made an error. AstraZeneca first announced the result of their vaccine trial this week, and they said that it had a general effectiveness of between 60 and 70%, but that in some situations it was 90% effective. Now, that got a lot of headlines because that's very good news. And there was even more good news. Their vaccine can be stored at warmer temperatures, meaning that countries in Africa with poor electricity can distribute it. But then we got some bad news. AstraZeneca made an error. It turns out that some of the people in the trial had gotten the wrong dose. That group that showed 90% effectiveness, they got a lower dose than normal by mistake. So, of course, this led to questions like, how come a lower dose of the vaccine seems to be more effective than a higher dose? And then one possible answer is that, that group of people did not have anybody who was over 55 or, any number of reasons, really. And as we know, COVID-19 is stronger in older people. So suddenly, that 90% result is now under scrutiny. And that's why AstraZeneca has announced that they're going to redo a new trial at the lower dose. But guess what? This does not affect the other results. We still know that at higher doses, AstraZeneca's vaccine is 60 to 70% effective. And the experts that I've been reading from all say that for an early vaccine, it's good enough. So now we're just waiting for government to approve it. But then there's still a big question about whether this vaccine or the other two that were ready before this one will be widely available in Africa. The Africa Center for Disease Control is saying that Africa may not get vaccines until the second quarter of next year. And that's between April and June. So the ACDC is worried that the rest of the world will be vaccinated before Africa. And there's a danger there. Because we may end up in a situation where countries with vaccinated populations will put travel bans for people without vaccines. And that's why the ACDC is worried that Africans may get cut off from the rest of the world. Now, the World Health Organization is pointing the finger at African governments. They're saying that our governments have failed to do the needed work for distributing vaccines. First of all, a government needs to identify and count the number of very vulnerable people who should be a priority for the vaccine. So the elderly, people who have at-risk conditions like heart disease and hypertension, medical workers. According to the WHO, only 47% of African countries have gathered this data, less than half. And then when it comes to resources and funding for distributing the vaccine, WHO says only 24% of African countries have that kind of money. So how are Africans going to get the vaccine if their governments don't have the data or the money to distribute them? How do you think we're going to get this done? 0700-993-993. Do you think African governments, African countries are doing their homework? The answer to that is probably no. But maybe there are some of you who think yes. Do you think African countries are holding up their own end of the bargain? What do you think about the scrutiny that the drug industry is putting on AstraZeneca? They have a working vaccine, but because some of their data is off, they're being made to repeat their trial. Compare that to Abo Madagascar. Do you remember Abo Madagascar? That some Nigerians wanted to start drinking, wanted us to start drinking. Look what's happening with this vaccine. 0700-993-993. I'll come to Facebook in a bit. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. But you can call the live show on 0700-993 993 993. And yes, you can talk about our 3 stories today. Remember, we've talked about Uhuru Kenyatta leaving Twitter because he says he's been insulted too much and he can't sleep as a result. We've talked about the crisis in Ethiopia, and I wonder what you think the solution to that crisis is. And now we're talking about the era with this COVID-19 vaccine. How can African countries step up? 99.3. Hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Okay. Let's take to another call now. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ruben from Yaba.
Good to have you on the show, Ruben.
Yeah. For the last story, the one you're talking about, coronavirus cure. I don't think I want to believe that we Africans don't deserve it. Like you said, we don't have we didn't put the work. Most of our biological labs, they did little or nothing. So I know one company in Nigeria that you featured one that were planning on a cure.
Yeah.
But they basically in Africa, I think apart from that and maybe in South Africa, the rest of Africa is doing nothing. And we Nigerians are not even helping matters. We keep joining the bandwagon, the Trump bandwagon about coronavirus is linked to 5G and coronavirus is a antichrist, is bringing out all this rubbish that we keep saying. This is part of the reason why I don't feel like they are the ones that need it the most, because they carry the highest number of people that are infected. So they should still treat themselves and leave Africa. I want that coronavirus to hit those pro-Trump, pro-Christian people shouting up and down that China is responsible for 5G. It should get to them too. I want it to get to them so that they should know what it feels. Seriously. Thank you very much, man.
All right, Ruben. Ruben is a very angry man. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
My name is Austin. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
I want to talk about the Kenyan president.
Leaving Twitter. What do you think about his reason for leaving?
Well, I think he has done the right thing.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to be distracted. Yeah. And we should know that he's the one that sees the insult. He's the one that knows the line of insult that has been used against him. Probably he can no longer take it. And it's affecting him, probably health-wise. And he wants to serve his people very well. So the best way to do it is to leave the space so that we will not be distracted. After all, we've been having leaders during the era without Twitter, and they've been doing well. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
So leaving Twitter or staying there is not going to affect his role as the president of the Kenyan society.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that is the way I feel.
Thank you for calling us. But you know, there's something that back in the day, the Romans used to do in ancient Rome. They had elected officials called tribunes. The job of the tribunes was to speak to the people. And that's why a lot of newspapers are called tribunes, by the way. Now, under Roman law, a tribune was not allowed to lock his house. At any time or day or night, any citizen could enter a tribune's house to shout at him and complain. Because even the Romans, the ancient Romans, understood that those with power must expose themselves to the pain of the people. And that's what platforms like Facebook and Twitter have done. They've brought you closer to your leaders so that you can talk to them directly. They can feel your pain directly. And so in a situation like that, do you think that people with the most power in society should be afraid of or sensitive about insults from the people with the least power? Because you have to remember that, he's the president, right? And the people who are insulting him may even be unemployed. They may be the poorest of the poor. He works for them. So why is he running from his bosses? But on the other hand, like my previous caller said, his mental health is also a conversation here. He's the president. People should respect the president. People shouldn't insult the president. Now, these are all various arguments about that decision that he made. And I wonder what you think about his decision to leave Twitter. What do you think about his reason for leaving Twitter? 0700-993-993. And what do you think the solution to the crisis in Ethiopia is? Remember, that's our second story on the show today. Have you been following that story? What's the solution to that terrible situation there? Do you think the African Union can make a difference? And then for our final story, what do you think about African countries and these vaccines that are getting ready? Do you think African countries are doing their homework? Do you think they're holding up their end of the bargain? WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. On Facebook, we have some thoughts, and I did say I was going to go to Facebook next. Prince Egu says, they never see anything. African leaders will keep receiving insults and hate speech until they change for good. Chinedu Okoli says, nothing in life is compulsory. He's free to do as he chooses. Leaving Twitter for critics or insults is inconsequential, period. Whether he stays or leaves, criticism or insults continues. But then it's left for him to decide or choose how to react. After all, not all leaders are on social media. Lastly, staying or leaving has nothing to do with good governance, which the people, deserve, and not a social media handle. All right, Chinidu Okoli, thanks for your message. We've got Bamidele Fadile, who says, it's pure arrogance and dictatorship tendency. Just like Buhari's Twitter handle comments were deactivated a while ago. Trump, despite thousands of insults, stays on Twitter. When you don't want to be questioned, even insults, you are not a true leader. Teddy says that on Facebook. Okay, let's come back to the phone lines. 0700-993-993. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
My name is Michael.
Michael, welcome.
Okay, let me start with the Twitter.
Okay.
If you can't stand the heat, leave the kitchen.
Okay.
As a public servant, you are prone to be attacked or be insulted. It's not a bad thing. Then regarding the COVID, I think the more we try to understand it, the more you begin to see that there is more to it than meets the eyes. In Africa, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I strongly believe it does. There are a lot of evidence, especially if I say it doesn't. Those that have lost loved ones will say I'm insensitive, I'm callous. But the reality is that if you check it, there is something that makes it a bit different. And science has proven that the whole world is not created the same. A Caucasian doesn't suffer sickle cell anemia. It is a historical fact. It's a scientific fact, the same way, there are certain things that a black man suffers that a white person might not, vice versa.
Yeah.
So if they trace this COVID to the root of it, maybe they should spare us the trauma and everything. We are not dying as much as they are doing over there. I'm not traveling in any time soon, so don't vaccinate me. Leave me the way I am. And we can meet in the future somewhere. Thank you, Sandra.
All right, Michael. Thanks for calling. So Michael says, I'm not traveling anytime soon, so leave me alone. Well, but Michael is right that the death rate in Africa has been very low. Scientists are trying to find out why. They're trying to figure out why. They have a suspicion that vitamin D levels affect the virus. Another study also found that the presence of other coronaviruses in Africa may have created some form of resistance. But now we're also hearing of a second wave, right, in Africa. So in Kenya, for instance, there's a second stronger wave dealing with them there and affecting people really, really terribly. We're hoping that it doesn't get to Nigeria, but the numbers are increasing again. I've been following the NCDC numbers for Nigeria, and they're rising again. And that's explainable because people are not taking it seriously anymore. You go out and you don't see anyone wearing a mask. People are gathering in crowds again. So it's probably going to get to Nigeria. I'm talking about that second wave. We're probably going to have it in Nigeria, but fingers crossed that we don't. But I don't know whether hope is a strategy. In Kenya, for instance, their second wave has started. It has hit. It is far stronger than what they experienced the first time. Their hospitalization rates have gone up, and the world is paying attention to what's happening over there. Let's take a few more calls. 99.3. Hello.
Yeah, Sandra.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Obi Ruben calling from Ipaja, Lagos.
Good to have you on the show.
I thought that you were not taking my calls again.
I don't even know who calls. It's very random. I can't even see your number.
It's been a very long time. I always call and it rings, but somehow no problem. That is by the way. Now the first story I want to ask that back home here in Nigeria, does our president even, have a Twitter handle apart from the one that they ate? He managed for him.
He has a Twitter handle, but I don't know whether he manages it
He's
himself.
not the one managing. Even he doesn't even read itself. Yet he wants to regulate social media. Then another president, he wants to be very civil enough there. Allow them to say what they want to say there. Please, I am opting out. After what my age is going to tell me, my wife will tell me whatever is discussed. How? If we have such leaders like that in Nigeria, I think we will just commend it there. So for him, it's well in order within his right for him to opt out of this in the Twitter. After all, whatever is very necessary, his aides are going to relate it to him. There. And for the Ethiopia, that is the same problem that we are having here in Nigeria. Here, I think that if the international community or the African Union are proactive, they should have even nicked the matter on the board before getting up to this level here. But as it is now, I think they are well in order because the government suppressive action against the Tigray. I've been following this story for some time now.
Okay.
There is no way that you will push the people to the wall, marginalize them, and you will feel that they are not going to fight back there. They have the right even to ask for their own nation on their self. So however they go about it there, it is just because the government have not been treating them well. So there's not everybody that have that kind of this because they knew that if they want to pass through the referendum, they might not have their way. The other region, they are going to, like, that is the same thing. Whatever we are saying, that the same thing we are talking here in Nigeria. Here, when they are talking about restructuring, they say go to the National Assembly. But the real people who does not really want this country understand to be restructured there, they are in majority in the National Assembly there. Then when the matter goes there, you know how it's going to end there. Thank you very much, Sandra, for speaking with you today.
Thank you, Ruben, for calling today. All the best next time you call in. 99.3.
Sandra.
Yes, thanks for calling.
Yeah, just give me a few seconds. You called me when I was, this Mr. Frank, you called me when you wanted to go to break.
A break. Oh, okay. Welcome back. Thanks for calling back. Hello, Mr. Frank? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Please call back. 99.3. Oh, no. Sorry about that. 99.3.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
Thank God. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Oh, yeah, my name is Ruben from Yaba again.
Ruben, okay. Thanks for calling back.
You gave us 3 hard facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you the 4th hard fact.
Okay.
The fact that you are doing a wonderful job in broadcasting, journalism, or whatever it is. I love you so much, and I love what you are doing. You give us hard facts. I don't know how you do it, but you don't joke with facts at all. You put all your stress, everything, all your energy into giving the facts, and you don't joke with it. And I love the way you engage Nigerians, especially these people who are called supremacist Nigerians. They feel they are more Nigerian than you and I. They feel they are more Nigerian than the Nigerians in diaspora, e.g. the ones in UK. I managed to get the UK Parliament to sanction some people involved in the Lekki massacre.
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for a wonderful job. Whether they are disguising themselves as reporters or Gura masters.
Ruben, bye-bye. Thanks for calling. I appreciate you calling to thank me. You're derailing my conversation. 99.3, hello.
Auntie Sandra, I don't know what is happening to my phone.
I don't know. It's network. They don't like you. But quickly, while you're here, quickly.
Just, I want to ask you one small question.
Mm-hmm.
Auntie Sandra, as we are calling here, we are learning.
Yes.
Let's assume now that you are used to teach us now, you bring facts, we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Mr. Fan call, I will always be insulting you. Whenever I call, I will be calling you names, insulting you, every day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next time, what will you do?
I will take your call now.
You take my call and still take the insult.
It's my job now.
Your job is it to be taking insult?
No, my job is to talking to the people. If the day the people call me and they call me to insult me, well, how will I do? Will I insult you back? I can't insult you back because I have like ethics of my profession, and the ethics of my profession demands that I be courteous to you, even if you're insulting me.
But I will not insult you.
I know now because you have manners.
So that man cannot carry it. I like what he did. For Ethiopian issue, we have not settled our own matter here. So matter they bring and I develop here don't know. Let us settle our own first before we go to Ethiopia. Thank you, Auntie Sandra.
Thank you, Frank, for calling. I appreciate it. All right, we'll take one more call. 99.3.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Victor.
Victor, welcome. We've got 3 stories from the global stage. Which one you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the vaccine.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the Western world should leave Africa alone. If our leaders, our leaders know that to an extent we are immune to this virus. They know, but they are just taking the money. You understand? So they should not threaten us with travel ban if you don't take it. The African leaders are not doing enough and all that. It is not our sickness. It is there. So as the other man said, you have disease that catch a white man, it will not catch a black man, as well as the other way. So they should just leave us alone. They should not come and start enslaving us the second time. See, so many people have seen this coronavirus, the so-called coronavirus. They only took malaria drugs, and they are well. It's here in Nigeria. I know many. So let's forget about all these things. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. So many people also got the coronavirus and died from the coronavirus. I've had friends who have died from coronavirus. I've had family who have died from coronavirus. So it's not as black and white as people will like it to be. But I'm in a good mood today and I don't want to argue, so I'm not going to argue. We've got Bashiru Garba who says, no, that's not a message for me. But we've got Idowu Olusegun who says, no peace for the wicked. I'm guessing Idowu is talking about Uhuru Kenyatta. Jonathan Igbo says, Sandra, the sign of a leader going to the next level of tyranny. And sorry for that country. As a man who's bent on achieving an ulterior motive like idleness. I'm not sure what message you're trying to pass, but thanks for sending us that message, Mr. Igbo. Joy Forever on Twitter says, at least he's not revoking Section 230 like Brother Trump. As for Tigrays, I think they should be allowed to go if they want to leave peacefully, since the Constitution allows it. AstraZeneca are honest for coming back. They could have killed many people at a lower dosage. We've got Degboyega who says the president of Ethiopia should be charged for crimes against humanity. He has other options to prevent bloodshed, but he chooses to attack innocent citizens and has taken a lot of lives. A man that holds the Nobel Peace Prize award. What a shame. Adeboyega, thanks for your message. We've got more messages here. Collins says Kenyatta leaving Twitter is laughable. He doesn't want to be criticized but wants to be praised even when he's not performing. African leaders are just too egocentric. Even Trump is being abused every day on Twitter. PMB even blocked the comments section. LOL. Steve Obiako says there's a Kenyan proverb that says a king who doesn't want people to discuss the shape of his mouth must not eat in public. The Kenyan president shouldn't be a public figure and be afraid of insults. Everybody cannot like you. Steve Ofere on Twitter says everyone should know how to flow with their people, whether it's negative or positive. But the ultimate is to find means of fulfilling their demands, not running from one medium to another. However, his style is better than the type that we have here in Nigeria. Odion says, sleepless nights is actually a call for a job left undone. All right. Thank you for sending your message in. Tate says, I don't think he should deregister his account because criticism is part of leadership. Budget says, Sandra, I couldn't listen to you yesterday and my day was not complete. Aw. Well, if you missed the show, you can always catch up online. We are available as a podcast. So search for Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's very, very simple to find the podcast and listen again and again, as many times as you want. If you didn't hear something properly while we were live, you can rewind it, you can fast forward. If you don't want to hear a particular thing I'm saying or a particular phone call, or if you missed a phone call and you want to catch what that caller really, really said, simply just search for our podcast. It's available on Google, it's available on Spotify, Apple. It's available everywhere that you can find podcasts. Search for Sandra Ezekwesili or Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili and then go ahead and listen. Maki Lagos says, good afternoon, Chief Executive President Sandra. Okay. About President Kenyatta leaving Twitter, any sincere leader should brace up for both unconstructive and constructive insults and criticism. But a leader who runs away from social media or seeks to regulate social media to avoid so-called insults or criticism is a coward, prideful, and not fit to be a leader. All right, Maki Lagos, thank you for your message. More messages here. Sandra, my name is Irakpada from Ikorodu. What the world called COVID-19 is not what they think it is. The entire world is experiencing external... Okay, I am not going to take that conspiracy theory on a live show. You people know that I have 720,000 listeners, right? So I have to be very, very careful what I put into their minds. And conspiracy theories are not one of those things I should feed them. Sandra, good afternoon. Please, when will your reporter, Mr. Rotimi, be in Ethiopia for live reports? Well, he's not my reporter. He's a caller that calls the show. And I guess next time he calls, I'll ask him. Good afternoon. Uhuru Kenyatta is lucky. If he was Nigerian, the citizens would have sent the message to his closest relatives on Twitter. Sandra, all African leaders know how to do is borrow money from abroad. You see, until African countries decide to embrace technology, not running away from it like Nigeria's government and the president of Kenya. The problem of African countries is foreign influence, which makes AU somehow powerless to decide what to do in the continent. Look at the NSAS case. How can British Parliament look at it before AU? Obata Joseph is saying. Obata, thank you for your message. I'll leave you in the hands of Yvonne. After Yvonne is done with business news, Agogo will take over and bring you Public Square. I am back on air on Monday at 3. Let's bring you the big 3. Let's talk about that conversation that the UK had in the House of Commons. We're going to talk about it in detail. I'll have an international law expert, international diplomacy expert on the show with me between 5 and 6, and we'll talk about that. But I'll bring you the big weekend at 3 p.m. on Monday, and if you miss me in the meantime, talk to me online. Ezekwesili on Twitter, Ezekwesili on Instagram, Sandra Ezekwesili on Facebook. Those were your hard facts, Lagos. Good night.